Neanderthals landed everywhere across the world except in Sub-Saharan Africa. The fact that Neanderthals landed almost everywhere across the world, except in Sub-Saharan Africa, suggests that A. the Neanderthals were not considered suitable for Sub-Saharan Africa, or B. the Neanderthals were not suitable for Sub-Saharan Africa, something our scientists are aware of, or else there were already other earlier more suited alternatives in place. The fact that some of the few Neanderthals found in Africa, like in Jebel Irhoud in Morocco, are found in mines and resource-rich regions, suggests once more that in general Neanderthals have been carried on ships and deployed by humans, this mainly so to execute heavy-duty mining. That also explains best why they most often were malnurtured, ate poor vegetarian diets, and suffered metal poisonings from the resources of the mines they worked in, and were found in, this together with only the stone tools that had been provided or they were allowed to use. The large-scale production of stone tools often happened in other and/or distant locations and were traded by humans. That is why so many unused tools are found in otherwise inexplicable large quantities and piles. And that is why most of the tools make no sense for hunting, simply because they were not intended for hunting, but for mining instead. We claim that there is archaeological evidence across the world that Neanderthals also were deployed for megafauna handling. Something similar would be the case with Clovis Peoples, who also were restricted to use stone tools. The fact that scientists think there are indications that ancient Clovis people may have taken tool cues from earlier Americans further confirms our line of thinking. Besides points, the Clovis toolkit includes other stone tools like bifaces, side scrapers, end scrapers, retouched blades, flakes, and perforators. Consensus recognizes that these tools were versatile and used for a variety of tasks, including processing animal hides, preparing food, and woodworking. Cobble tools, made from unmodified stones, were also part of the Clovis toolkit. A significant find of Clovis stone tools, including exceptionally large points, was discovered at the East Wenatchee Clovis site in Washington state. The site also yielded bone artifacts and evidence of tool manufacturing. Large finds like this are called caches, and such caches or production sites should not be found if the Clovis people really were the hunter-gatherers they still are claimed to be by consensus. Neanderthals and Homo sapiens lived together. According to consensus, Neanderthals and modern humans, Homo sapiens, lived in close proximity and even interbred in some regions, particularly in Eurasia. Their ranges overlapped for thousands of years, and genetic evidence confirms that they interbred, with Neanderthal DNA persisting in the genomes of present-day humans outside of Sub-Saharan Africa. This consensus view is incomplete at best. Of the very notable but few cases that coexistence and interbreeding are assumed. The ancient supposed Neanderthal DNA is in not one of the cases found back in modern human DNA. The interbreeding not having survived in the context of the supposed Neanderthal fraction in modern humans is the same as that there never had been interbreeding. The supposed Neanderthal fraction in modern humans is nothing else than a very improbable assumption made by consensus in order to be able to explain some of its largest paradigms. Evidence of the improbability of this consensus assumption is the subject of other of our videos. Rani's 13. In the case of Rani's 13, the Neanderthals lived in caves or mines beneath the modern humans. If the Neanderthals had not been living in captivity, or if they had been partners, they would not have been found alone in the caves or mines. This while their humans partners were buried normally and not at all in the caves. These are evidences that suggest they lived strictly separated, even more separated than certain cases of imprisonment of unrelated humans. Places Neanderthals inhabitate after humans. Also, these cases do not make sense in the consensus context in more than one way. Neanderthals would not have gone extinct if they had been partners with humans, and if they had successfully interbred with humans. Further, they also should have been living together in mixed families.